So we went to Dubai, not because it's a great place to go for a holiday with children. It's not. Basically because we are on a very slow world tour of the world's expat cities. So we went to Singapore before, now we've done Dubai. And I think, if I'm honest with you guys, I think this is all fueled by a sort of not so subconscious desire on my girlfriend's part to off to another country where we would then put our kids into an international school, because I think that she thinks that's her route to getting our children into, quote, private school. I think that's the strategy here. It's a medium to long-term one, and I respect it. It's clever, but I think that is what is happening here, because she knows that I am point blank refusing to pay for private school for our children, because honestly, that, right? So, moving to somewhere like Singapore or Dubai, but every time I've looked into this thing, right, into the idea of maybe moving to another country, every single time I've actually done the maths, it never stacks up financially. But if going on holiday for a week to one of these cities keeps that desire or addiction sort of fixed, right, if you like, if it scratches the itch for another year, then fine, we'll spend a week in Dubai. I'm okay with that. Whatever it takes to keep her happy. Up to and including referring to said holiday as the playcation. Now, I'm being somewhat facetious here, by the way, because it was actually genuinely really nice to get away, for the kids to have a pool. We saw the fountains. Don't know how much you guys are aware of Dubai and what awesome scenery there is there and all the shit that they've built up, and it's just incredible. Really impressive city, man. This VR world that we went to, they had the big wheel there, which is very similar to the Millennium Wheel in London, in Westminster, Waterloo kind of way, right? And we stayed on the big palm tree island. We were going around different parts of Dubai, and we were sitting in a taxi and we were doing that thing that Westerners probably always do in taxis in Dubai, where they just stare out the window at these big tall buildings, these shiny fishbowl amazing flashing lights, incredible buildings. Westerners staring. I reckon every single Westerner that gets off the plane looks out of their taxi window as they're driving up to their hotel or whatever. They look out that thing like they're a character in a Disney movie called Lost in London. It's like, wow! And I said to the taxi guy, I was like, how new is all this? Because it all looks so new. And this is the thing about London, is you look around London, a lot of it is new. You got the Gherkin, you got the Shard, you've got that thing, the Heron Tower. A lot of it is fishbowly and new and shiny stuff. But there's also a lot of old shit in London as well, right? So I'm asking this guy, I'm like, look, how new is all of this? And the guy's like, all of this was built, literally miles, all of this has been built since 2010, right? 2010. I'm like, okay. And I know they've got problems. I know Dubai, the UAE, I know they have human rights issues. There's a lot of stuff they still have to get right. But also, I did find myself thinking, would it really be the worst thing in the world if the UK government was like, right, listen, we've tried doing it the nice way, now we're just going to go ahead and do it anyway. We have to move 300,000 people out of this part of London. We're just going to push them out to Milton Keynes or Suffolk or some new town somewhere. And then we're just going to flatten these bits and rebuild them so they're actually purposeful for the 21st century. Would it be the worst thing if we did that for Blighty? No, you shouldn't be able to just, commandeer people's housing estates, turf them out, shift them up north or whatever, build train terminals all over them, all over their old neighbourhoods. Don't recognise them anymore. No, you shouldn't be able to just land grab that shit. But also, if you happen to live in a place where a shiny new train station is nicer to look at than your shit town, then maybe for the good of Britain, we just concrete over fucking Slough or wherever. Or Aldershot even, right? I have no town pride whatsoever. I don't know if I've scarcely even mentioned its name. How many times have I said on this podcast? I've told you a zillion times that this is the shittest town in Hampshire. No town pride. That's why when I say the shittest town in Hampshire, I don't even name it. I just leave it up to you to guess. And 100% of the time, you're fucking bang on. You know, like, here's a good example, right? I'm trying to find a podcast, rented office space to do this podcast from so I can stop shouting in a shed and pissing off my neighbours, right? But weirdly, they've never even complained because, ironically, they probably assume that this is just the sort of mad shit that people in Aldershot get up to. They've just got to put up with it. You can buy a house for 45% less than it would cost you in a nearer town like Guildford. But it comes with a cost, doesn't it? And that cost is a big-eared, buck-toothed lunatic shouting in a shed right next to you. 2 nights every week. Like, when you read about town planning stuff, right? Be some company, is contracted in by the local government and they're trying to upgrade the town square, right? But that means they've got to tear down a church that nobody goes to, by the way. There's no one there's a couple of mums that go in there for the coffee morning because there's no childcare mum friendly facilities in the rest of the town. That's the only reason they set foot in there. They get 2 mums a week in that little church that this land developer, property developer is now going to have to tear down. But there will be protests in the paper, right? We've all seen these stories. There'll be a picture of an old lady that plays the organ there every Sunday. There'll be the priest. Then there'll be the 2 mums, whether they stand outside with the placards and the sandwich boards. Save our church! Save our church! Right? If somebody put a white label out, right, a government white label out to concrete over Aldershot, right, I would be I'd be like, yeah, fucking do it. Make it fucking happen. I'd be egging them on. People would be like, that protester there sounds really angry. Somebody else would be like, yeah, no, but he's supportive. He's supportively angry. He's just had enough. Right, oh, okay, so he's on our side, is he? Are you sure? And I'd be like, oh, yeah. No, absolutely, 100%. Because James cleverly turned up earlier and called this whole place a shithole and they'd bought him a round of drinks. They actually got on.